Well, thank you for coming on my show, Miss Grace.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, you're welcome. What can you tell everybody about yourself?
I am an 18-year-old actress, dancer, singer, model, etc.
Hmm.
I've been acting since for really as long as I can remember, but I officially started theater when I was 8, transitioned into film and TV when I was about 13. I've been dancing since I was 2, so performing for a very long time. Done shorts, music videos, films, a TV series through a platform I'm attached to, and what else? Oh, I did a commercial when I was younger. Let's see. I've been in a lot of musicals. I went to a performing arts high school for freshman and sophomore year. I'm going to NYU for drama starting in the fall, so that's exciting.
Wow, that's a lot. And so
Yeah.
what attracted you to begin your acting career?
So I've always loved, like, I was always the kind of kid that would watch a show and be like, I want to do what they're doing. Like most people are like, I want to be like them, like they're the role models. I was like, no, I want to do that. And when I was about 7, I was watching the Disney movie Enchanted, and my mom pointed out that that was my cousin on the TV. And my cousin is Idina Menzel. She was in that movie, and I was like, how do I get to do that? Like, I want to be like her. I have 2 younger brothers, so at the time my mom was like, I don't know, we don't have time for that. So it was kind of put on the back burner, I got into it then through Harry Potter. I wrote down all of Hermione's lines in every single movie. Like I would press play, hear a line, pause it, and write it down.
Hmm.
And I was I think 8 at the time, and I memorized it and performed it for my mom in a British accent before she told me to go to bed one night. And she was like, "What?" She was like, maybe we've got something here. And so after that, I kind of really got into it, and she really helped me get into theater and stuff. But so I've always just loved performing. I mean, I've been performing since I
Right.
was 2, so
That's amazing. Now, I know I looked up into you were nominated for the Best Lead Actress.
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what can you tell the audience about you getting nominated to be the lead Best Lead Actress?
So that was through the Orlando Independent Filmmakers Festival, and they do about 2 challenges a year. And this was my first one that I had ever actually been in. And the film that I was nominated for, I actually directed, produced, wrote, edited, etc. I did all of it. And so being nominated really meant a lot because going into it, I mean, the story was very personal to me. It was about bullying and anxiety and stuff, and it's all stuff I went through. So it was more about telling the story. I wasn't
Hmm.
trying to give my best performance. I mean, it was real. I was just acting from the heart. And so being nominated, it just meant a lot. And like then hearing all the positive feedback on it at the festival, I was like, oh my gosh, like not only can I act, but like everyone is like, you're good at like directing and writing.
Right.
Okay. Like I didn't know I could do that, but thanks.
Yeah, I mean, again, congratulations. Now, of course, you have upcoming roles that you've done, and maybe they're in post-production. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're in a film. Maybe Tomorrow Will Be Better. Came out, and you played, Lily in that.
Mhm.
It's coming out, and of course, you have don't The Day We Met, and you played young Alicia.
Mhm.
And so, what can you tell me about Maybe Tomorrow Will Be Better?
So maybe tomorrow will be better is the short that I did. That is now out on YouTube, I believe, and either it will be out on another platform. Not entirely, I don't remember the name, but it should be. Um, that was honestly my favorite experience. Like, it wasn't a super professional set. I mean, it was just me. So it was just like I got everything done. It was just a fun kind of thing to do. The day we met, I met one of my good friends, Carson, through filming that. It was a quick production thing. That was fun. Um, I also have another short that's going to be added on there. Um, it was a 1 minute short that I did a while ago. It was a silent film. It was just a sweet little thing. I loved the way it turned out. It was a college thing. And that one's about to be added to IMDb. And that one I believe you can watch through the director's Instagram. But once it's on IMDb, you'll be able to see that. So.
Right, right. And of course you played Through the Glass. That's a TV series, is that correct?
That was a short. So that was the first, like, my first ever job, like, that I
Hmm.
actually got paid for was acting. And it was that role. I was 15, I believe, when I booked
Okay.
it. And I was like, we were in like a cult almost. And all of
Hmm.
these, it was, the filming was fun. I mean, it was freezing. It was in Florida, but it was like in winter, and I was wearing just a nightgown and socks outside, and I'm like freezing, but it was so fun. I mean, the all the other castmates, everyone, the crew, it was
Wait
exciting.
a minute. You say it's freezing. So it's Florida. It's always warm, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I've lived in Florida like my whole life, and then I'm like, I mean, it's cold. I like to say we have two seasons. We've got like a good 10 months of summer and 2 months of fall. And but that year, for some reason, it was freezing, like in the winter. And that happened to be when we were filming outside. And I was like, couldn't anyone have like scheduled, couldn't the weather have worked better than this? But so
Right.
that was a fun one to film. It was like my first big thing, so that
Hmm.
was exciting.
Wow, amazing. And then of course you said you're a model as well.
Yes.
And what age or what attracted you to begin your modeling career?
Well, I started my friend Bridget, who I grew up with dancing. She was always in pageants. And so I think there was this summer camp thing through this place called Sessions when we were younger, and the two of us enrolled and did like the summer modeling camp. And so we did like a runway and stuff and got to learn about the industry. And since after that, like, after when I started acting, I got signed with an agency and they helped me with like print and modeling and stuff too. And I've modeled for Peter Sabasino from So You Think You Can Dance. He had a clothing line called hashtag Dance Swag, and I was
Mhm.
one of his models for that. So that was really fun too. I think it was in Orlando, maybe? I don't
Mhm.
know, but it was, and I had a few friends that were in that too because it was mainly dancer shoots. They wanted dancers because they wanted dancing poses and stuff. So it was cool. I've always loved
Wow.
modeling. So.
And then of course you did theater as well, correct?
Yes, theater was what led me into acting. Yeah.
That's, that's amazing. And then now, so the big question I ask everybody who does theater, which one do you like, or do you like both theater and acting, or just, just acting and being in front of the camera?
I think like I prefer on-screen acting like film, TV, but I mean theater is always going to have a special place in my heart, seeing as it's what really introduced me into the industry. And so, I mean, I would never pass over a theater job as well, but I do prefer film and TV. It's just more real, and you get to live a little bit longer in it.
Hmm.
Sometimes if it's a TV series, you can spend years of your life doing it versus theater, you don't spend as much time,
Right.
but I love it as well. So
That's amazing. And now, are you working on any current projects?
I'm currently just like auditioning and stuff. I've got a lot of trips and classes and stuff scheduled, but I had like three recent auditions where one I booked, it was for a TV series in New York, and they like ended up giving it to someone else because they were just like travel wise it wouldn't work. And so now that I'm going to college in New York, they're ready. They're like, we're gonna give you something. We really like you. So when you get here, we want you in the TV series. So that one I'm probably gonna have something with that. There was another film company I did. I got down to the final two. It was a horror film, and they are like, we want to use you in something before like someone huge discovers you. So I'm hoping to work with them. And then there was another one. I had my first in-person audition in a while, like recently, and they were very captivated by my
Hmm.
performance. They talked to my mom and exchanged numbers, and because there was an availability conflict, I was not going to be in the country when they were shooting it. They were like, they're trying to work it out, and I was like, I can't. And so they're like, we want to consider you for other projects, and we like want you, so here's our number. So I'm hoping that I'll be doing some of that, but besides that, it's just auditions and auditions and
Right.
acting classes
Well,
and working hard.
that's amazing. I can't wait to hear more about it.
Thanks.
Keep me updated. Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I hope to be in 5 years leading in a TV series or something, or have led a film or TV series. I would like to have done some bigger projects. I'm very driven and motivated, and I've been auditioning for a while, and I think it's gonna happen for me soon. So like the big stuff. So I'm hoping. I mean, I would love. I feel like just being in a TV series, especially where you can kind of like
Hmm.
create a family, and I'm still at the age where I would kind of grow up with the character. I mean, I'm 18, but I look like I'm like 15. So I still kind of like, and I have a lot of growing up to do, let's be honest. So it would just be fun to be in an environment like for a few years with, I don't know, if I was playing a kid in a family, and we could all grow up and become like a second family together. And I think that's just a fun experience. But I'd like to do that or some big films, and just have some fun with acting and make new friends in the industry. Yeah.
That's true. You got to make, we can make, we're a family in the industry. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Now, what do you use to approach how to get yourself into character?
Okay, so ending on the character, for example, like a crying, a really emotional role. I have a few ways I might approach it. I really, try and one, I'll maybe, if I can relate to the character, I go back to that experience. And that's really not just an emotional role, any role. You find the one thing that is similar between you and that character and really try and highlight that and bring that
Hmm.
out. And that kind of shows how you are the character if you focus on that. And really focus on that. And I think the casting directors and producers, whoever, will see that and look at you then and see the character they envision. But like the first thing I'll do when I get an audition is, obviously read over the lines, highlight. Um, if there's like a book or a movie or something, if it's like a sequel, I do as much research, try and understand it as much so I can kind of understand the universe, and then, get to memorizing, and then I'll coach on it, tape it, and then send it in. But yeah, so it's a lot of work, and I think just being in acting classes for years kind of makes it easier, and you have all of these different tools depending on
Right.
the type of role, so you kind of know what way to approach it.
Oh, it's amazing. Okay. I like that go into depth, talk about how to get yourself in character. Because I know
Yeah.
get into character sometimes because you have to get your mind in, focus.
Yeah.
So you're on a crying scene. So, and I heard it's really hard to cry on when because you're not sad, you're just happy.
Yeah, I feel like it depends because if I'm really into a scene and really feeling it, if I
Hmm.
really feel connected to the character, I can cry really quickly. Like sometimes I'm doing improv and I just start crying. Like I'm really connected. And then other times, if it's harder, it might take you a minute. And in those circumstances, you might just need to like think back on just another time that makes you sad if you can't find anything to connect. But usually, there's almost always something you can relate to, and just thinking about that can make you sad. And so then it's not as hard to cry when it comes to that.
Right. That's true, 100%. Um, which what is your favorite role that you played so far?
Hmm. That's a I really liked the Esther one in Through the Glass, but then I also liked the one in the short film I did. That was it was just, I mean, I wrote the character, so it's like I
Hmm.
was writing to myself, which is fun, and it was very personal. And growing up, I didn't have many role models, like with dealing with mental health issues at a young age. It just wasn't talked about. And so it's always something I wanted to kind of create for younger kids to have, and it just meant a lot to me being in that character's mindset and bringing myself to the role and showing people that they're not alone and that they can be vulnerable and talk about their stories, and it can help other people. So it was
Hmm.
just a really personal role, which I think is why it was one of my favorites.
Right. And it's true to talk about mental health. I think mental health is not talked enough and, at all.
Yeah.
It's very important to talk about, suicide prevention, and bully prevention. And it's very important to bring up that topic because you never know you could be helping somebody out there.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're making that film. Now the film that you did, the short film that maybe tomorrow will be better. did you direct that film, or how did that process happen?
So it originally started as like a really, really short film for a college audition, and I like was up in my room, and so I'd set the camera up, and I would then, go in front of the camera because I was acting direct. Like nobody helped me with it. I didn't have anyone. And so it was a lot of that. And then when I saw the film festival open up like for submissions, I was like, oh, I need to make it longer. So I wrote the script out, submitted, and it got accepted. And so then I like posted casting calls for, the person to play my mom in it, and I had some submissions. And then my mom like watched them too, and she was like, "Can I audition?" And I was like, "Sure." And I got it down to my mom and one other person, and I was like to my mom, "You don't really look like my mom." And she's like, "That doesn't make sense. I am your mom." But I ended up going with her just because I think she also, because I've been acting so long, knows how to do it, and she's also familiar with the circumstances in the film. And so directing her is easy because she's used to that, like with my auditions and stuff. So she's really all I had to direct. Then I had some friends in it who I just gave them notes and they taped it from their rooms with their parents. So it was really easy directing process. It wasn't like anyone was not paying attention. I didn't have that many people, and everyone I had was very professional. So
That's good. And that's good that you're the one who produced it and directed the film and
yeah.
some stories about, depression or, the bullies and talking about the mental health. And that's, again, very important topic to talk about. And I wish more people would talk more about it because we shouldn't be afraid to talk about our mental health at all.
Exactly.
So that's 100% true. Now, what is your greatest strength as an actress?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like honestly, I'm really really good at horror, which I don't get many opportunities for. But when I do, I always get down to like the final two in the audition process for the two like lead horror roles I've had in a film. I was down to the final two, and I'm like, okay, I think we're onto something here. And I've always really been good at that. But I'm also really good at drama and vulnerability. I've become really good at being vulnerable. I wasn't originally because you always put up a front, and sometimes it's hard to let it down. But I did, and I'm really good at that now. And comedy, I've always had fun with like Disney, Nick, multicam, single cam. So I really, because I've been training for so long, I feel like I can handle almost any
Hmm.
circumstance and everything that's thrown at me. Um, so I feel like I have a lot of different strengths when it comes to acting, and I think it's just if I were to get the opportunity to play a challenging role, maybe we'd see that I need to work on something harder. If But I mean, honestly, I'm just still kind of finding who I am as an actress and still auditioning, and I mean, you get those roles where I think
Right.
I'm greatest when it's myself, when I see myself in the role, and it's personal to me. That's my strength, playing that, bringing that to life. But I,
Hmm.
I have a lot of strengths within the acting genre, I guess you could say.
That's true. I understand. What do you believe is the most challenging aspect of being an actress?
Honestly, rejection. I'd
Mhm.
say it's just hard, especially being a child actor. I mean, all of your friends are actors as well because a lot of child actors are homeschooled or spend a lot of time at auditions or in acting classes. So you make friends with all these other child actors. So a lot of times you're also going out for the same roles. And when they book a role, it's really like you're obviously happy for them, but it can be really hard on yourself, and you have to kind of get used to that, and you just realize it's not you. Like they had you audition for a reason. You're a good actor. It's just you weren't right for that role. And so I think just learning how to deal with rejection and not getting picked and having to see your friends get what you really want, that's the hardest part.
Right. Yeah. And I totally understand because you see your best friend get it, but it's just difficult.
Yeah.
So I totally get where you're coming from. Now, my big question is, how do you work around your life with your activities? You're a model, you're a dancer, if I'm correct, and then you're
Yeah.
an actress, and you have your school. So how do you juggle your life with all three of those activities and auditions?
Yeah, so I was in-person school for freshman and sophomore year of high school, and it was just really hard because I was also a competitive dancer at the time, and I would get an audition and I'd be in class, and I'm like, I'm not paying attention to class anymore because I'm going over the audition that I have to tape before dance class when I get home. So then junior year, switched virtual. My agent and manager thought it would be better too, just to be home for auditions. And honestly, it worked a lot better because I could schedule my life kind of around those auditions and I didn't have a set time for school. And I was also able to graduate a year early. And so I was able to work as legal 18 before I was 18. So then this year I should have graduated, but I graduated the previous year. So I took a gap year this year and I've been teaching dance and, focusing on acting and auditions and classes. So I haven't had to deal with school, but, going into college in the fall, I don't have too many classes. So I'm hoping it's not too hard, but I'm looking forward to it and I think I'll be able to balance it. I have a pretty good schedule. I'm very good at planning and to-do
Mhm.
lists. Those are my saving grace. Without a to-do list, I would not be here.
Yes, everyone has to have a to-do list because it's hard to keep track of your life.
Yes. Yes.
So, what is your short term and your long term goal?
Um, Honestly, like the only goal I really, because I had to do like a goal sheet or what is the board you make or a planning board or something.
I
The
know what you're
board.
talking about. You're
Yeah, yeah. Like I cannot think of the name. But like ever since I can remember, it's been just be a successful actor because I don't know, it just brings me so much joy being able to step out of myself and play someone else and then make the audience feel something with these characters that I enjoy playing. And then, for me, I can use what I get from acting, the people that end
Mhm.
up looking towards me, I can use that to share kind of important messages about, mental health and just different like disability pride, just different things that are really important to me and take advantage of the followers I gain and that's important. But yeah, my just goals in general are just to be a successful actor and I'm hoping that soon I will book something pretty good and be on path. I'm that's my goal for 2023 and we've still got a while to go, so I'm hoping I can do it.
Right, right. And it's very, I'm very glad that you're an advocate of mental health. So am me, so am I, me. My show is about anti-bullying and anti-suicide as well. So it's very important to have, let's say, us people in the entertainment industry that we're speaking up for these people who are unable to speak up, right? So we can
Yeah,
bring up tough topics about, mental health, about suicide prevention, and, hopefully change people's lives out there.
definitely.
Very good and very important to talk about it. So, and like you said, you experienced some stuff in your life that you were bullied. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And if you mind me asking, what year was that in high school or middle school?
Oh my gosh, let's think. Elementary, middle, high school. It was a lot, and like I was at the same school for pre-K through eighth grade, and so I was bullied, and my mom was the guidance counselor at the school, which doesn't make things easier. You'd think it would, because she's like the anti-bully, but no, that just kind of makes people go down on you harder. And I was just always a nice kid, and I've always been my own person. I didn't try to be someone I'm not, and I think people saw that as a threat. But then going into high school was hard because I was like, it's a new thing. Like I'm not the bullied kid here. And then the first time I was bullied, it really, really hurt me because I was like, I thought I escaped that. And I also have like anxiety and ADHD and depression and stuff. So like you never know what's going on in someone else's life. So when you bully someone who has all these underlying things you don't know about, it can hurt even worse. And so it stung. It really did. And but I mean, you just have to kind of learn that these people that bully you, it's not you, it's them. Like it's something
Hmm.
going on in their life and they have to take it out on you. And it's hard to adjust your mindset to that, but you need to because you're not going to be able to go through if you keep thinking it's me. Why does everyone hate me? No, it's them. It's them. It's something about them.
Right, 100%. I'm sorry you experienced that, and of course, myself, I suffer depression. I'm not afraid to talk about it. But I've lost three friends to suicide, and that's why I'm very important to talk about suicide prevention, mental health. So it's very important that you're bringing this up, and then, of course, the film that you made. So again, congratulations on that film, short film. And of course, you became the lead actress nominated. So, big deal. So, and do you see yourself potentially, producing or directing a bigger film, down the road?
I I definitely want to do that. Like for now, I'm focusing on acting. I want to make it bigger in acting and have like a big platform before I transition. I think that way I have more people who want to watch my stuff when I transition into that. But like I already have ideas in place, but I'm really trying to focus on acting and once I feel successful and feel like I've done a bunch of stuff I want to do, not that I'm done with it, but once I feel like I've done some stuff and I want to start working on some other stuff as well, then I will go back into it, but I'm acting is my main priority, but I love all the other aspects as well.
Right. So once you get into the bigger and get more people following you and et cetera, you just want to focus only on directing and producing films.
No, I want to keep doing acting. It's just, I think then I'll start doing both because it's fun
Hmm.
to be like a producer on your own film that you're like acting in because you kind of get final say in things and you can help with casting decisions. And that's really important if it's an important story to you. So like all of that kind of stuff, it's going to be easier. And I think
Right.
when I'm a bit older and more adult, um, it'll be fun to do and
Right.
have more say in what I'm doing.
Right. Now, my another question as well for you is, do you see yourself continuing your modeling career as well, or just, only focusing on your acting and film directing later on?
I mean, I love modeling. I it's never been like a huge thing. Um like I don't really do runways or anything. I mean, I've always been too short really, but like print and stuff I love if I'm offered like or if I book a print job, modeling for a
Mhm.
clothing company, like yeah, I'll do that. It's fun, but it's not like I go out of my way for modeling jobs. It's more
Right.
focusing on the acting, but if my team sends me a modeling audition or something, yeah, I'll go in for it.
That's good. Now, do you have any funny or interesting stories on set or behind the scenes?
That's a good question. Oh, I do have one. Um, when I filmed Through the Glass, so it was outside and we were walking, I don't remember, we were on a location. We were on location, so it was like in the woods or something. And we're walking through and I have like a deadly fear of spiders, bugs. I don't know what it is that instill that fear within me, but I can't stand them. And so I'm walking and I walk into a spider web, and I swear I swallowed a spider. And so I'm sitting like I'm just walking and I just start coughing. Like I'm like, I think I swallowed and I'm like freaking out. And then the director turns around and the camera she's like, tape this, and they have the camera on me and they're like, okay, keep going, this is perfect. And I'm like, it's not acting, it's a spider. I think I swallowed a spider. And they're like, don't talk, just keep coughing. So that was a pretty funny one. I mean, in the moment it was not funny, but afterwards it ended up being funny. And then I had a fall that I did there too. I was supposed to fall, and like I'm really flexible just from dancing, so I fell and like my legs went over my head, and it was just really funny. Like there's a few different takes we have, outtakes from that I mean in the moment kind of hurt or were scary, but afterwards I was
Mhm.
like, that is really funny. So
So did you really swallow a spider?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I really don't want to imagine that I did, but maybe. I mean, I feel like everyone probably does. It's like swallowing a bug or chewing like a little bug, like I mean, you're bound to swallow one point in your life, right?
I don't think so, but I,
No? They
I've
don't just fly into your mouth? No, that's not a thing.
I've never experienced that.
Really? Okay,
No.
then it's not normal.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, not to freak you out when you said snow. Like, I don't think so.
I don't know. I think I thought I did, and that freaked me out. I think I just walked into a spider's web, and then my mind was like anxiety to take over, and I was like, the spider. I swallowed it, and now I'm about to be like Spider Woman or something, but that didn't happen.
Spider Woman. No. Now, is there anything else about you that nobody knows about? Any hidden talents, only that your family knows?
Um, some people don't know. I'm really like double jointed.
Hmm.
That's a pretty cool one. Like I can go to this and
That is crazy.
that one, yeah, and then I don't know. I feel like a lot of people can, but my thumb kind of goes
Hmm.
backwards.
I can't do
Um,
that.
I think that just kind of comes with like flexibility and stuff too, and so that's something I can. Um, depends on who I'm with, but I can do like a British accent. That's something I've been able to do since I was
Hmm.
7. Not really hidden since I kind of just break out into it randomly. But yeah, I feel like the double jointed stuff, like some people really wouldn't know that.
Wow. I didn't know that. That is so cool, by the way. Did that was that practice or just you were
Natural. I think it's also kind of hereditary. My grandma was double jointed,
hmm.
so I feel like I don't know, it's just something that kind of happened.
Right. That's so cool. So what is your advice for someone who wants to break into acting?
I would say find classes, local classes, or I guess with COVID and everything, there's now Zoom and you can take classes via Zoom, but get into those classes and work hard and you'll meet people through that, either your acting teacher or whoever, after taking classes for a couple years when you like feel more confident in
Hmm.
yourself and your abilities. They can hopefully connect you with a manager, an agent, or someone, and it's really about connections. So once you kind of build those, just you'll be able to get in with a manager, an agent, or someone somewhere, and they'll then help you start getting auditions. And you just have to keep working hard and coaching, and don't let yourself get down. I mean, it's gonna happen. You just have to have faith and keep going. And the best things in life are worth waiting for. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Audition and try out and don't give up. Um, Now, what would you say to other aspiring actresses who are around your age, but who wants to do what you're doing? What would you say to inspire them to keep going? What would you?
Um, you can do it. Like, also don't focus on other people. That's a hard thing, and it's advice I've received from many, many a person. You can't move forward looking sideways. So if you're looking at other people, you can't move yourself forward. So really just focus on yourself and enjoy life, busy yourself, because once you get busy and have a lot of stuff going on, that's when it starts to happen for you. And so don't just wait on it, have other stuff going on, because otherwise you're gonna kill yourself waiting. It's gonna be terrible. It's just, imagine just sitting there and like checking your phone every 5 minutes. But yeah, no, you just keep taking classes because there's always more to learn. But it'll happen if you work hard, keep going, and don't give up.
Mhm.
It's gonna happen for you.
Very true. 100%. Now, is your brothers also into acting?
No, no, I have two younger brothers, so one's 16 and one's 14. They're they like sports and gaming and no, no. I think I kind of steered them in the opposite direction. Because it's just I was always so into like the arts and everything growing up, and they were kind of forced to be there. They didn't, so it made them not want to be. But I mean, my brother who's 16, I feel like he could be a comedian. He's so funny. He'll just come out with the weirdest things. But I'm like, Like you really should try acting, but no, they don't want to. Maybe in the future they will.
Right. And maybe in the future, but not right now.
Not right now.
Maybe eventually. So
Hope.
you're the only one in the family that's and acting and audition, making films. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Except my mom now says she's a movie star because she played my mother in the film. So
Right. Again, that's amazing. And I saw the film. Congratulations. It was amazing.
thank you.
Oh, great work, and I can tell it was, reaching out to people and talking about, bully prevention, and all this mental health issues that we need to talk about. It's very important
Yeah.
about those issues. I feel like we're not talking how do you describe? We're not talking enough about it.
Yeah.
So it's very important to bring it up. And, you never know, we could save someone's life about suicide prevention and stop bullying and that's what we, the people, do, in this entertainment industry, tell people a story out there,
Definitely.
100%. So, and if you mind me asking, what state are you located at?
I'm in Florida, currently, but I will be in New York for college, so
Mhm.
I'm kind of a bit of everywhere, wherever acting calls me.
Wow, you're gonna get used to the cold state in New York.
I know. Well, my family is all from there. Like, my mom is one of seven kids, and all six of them live up north. So we've always spent a lot of time up there, and it's definitely a big change, but it's nice. I mean, you have more clothing options versus when it's hot in Florida. What do you can wear tank top and shorts. That's about it.
Right. But and in the winter you have to what do you call it? Bundle up,
Bundle up.
mini
That's
mini
true.
mini clothing, right? So
Yeah.
I don't like that. And so, but like I said, I'm trying to remember when it was cold in Florida because you said it was cold that day that when you did the film, but I've never thought Florida would get that cold. So
Yeah. In the winter, some days it does, but it's not like often. Just like every, there's a period in the winter where it's a bit cold, especially when you're just in a nightgown and socks. And it's like even if it's like 50 degrees out, it's gonna be freezing if you're in a nightgown and socks running through woods.
that's true. At least it's not like 30 or 40 degrees.
I think it was though that day it was like 30 or 40. It was like really cold for Florida.
Wow.
I was like,
Of
yeah,
course, no snow when you read that film.
nope,
Yeah, if it's going to be cold, I think it needs to snow.
of course.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I appreciate you coming on my show, Grace, and I can't wait for more project for you to come back on and talk about your films and more about your acting career. And, I really appreciate it. Again, congratulations on your lead nomination role. And then, of course, your films. And, I can't wait to talk more about it with you.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was
Yeah,
awesome having
thank
you.
you. And you have a good night. And thank you for coming on.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.